être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? Croire. Ce monde, il faut croire. Croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi.
That's what is important in a leader. Because you know, the more we stuck in the position that we keep a lot of followers within us, that's the time that we start to see that we're building an empire. I don't know, I've realized it, when a leader doesn't build up other leaders and stays himself a leader for a long period of time, he will start now to build his empire. He will start now to make things work for him. He will start to secure his position instead of help people to keep the position as well. Because sometimes, you know, we are being called to some position that one day because I think it's Dr. Wen. I was reading a book of Dr. Wen D. Wen. He was writing about ownership. He was saying that concept just blew my mind. He was talking about ownership. He says sometimes we want to own everything. We want to own our position. We want to own everything that is around us. And sometimes when we lose it, we feel insecure straight away. Because we think that, you see, the more you want to own something, is the more you don't want to lose it. You build it both ways. The more you own something, the more you want to keep it forever, the more you don't want to lose it, and then the more you start fighting for it, and then you get out of focus. Instead of you being a leader, you become someone that secures his position. And the more you secure your position, is the more you start to fight people that comes that will feel that they will take your position. Now, some people can give a good speech, not because they want to take a position, but because they have a gift. But because you are insecure, you think that the speech is coming to take a position. Instead of you trusting the gift, nurture the gift, so the way you start to develop fear. And now when fear comes to you, we send you to Richard because he knows how to deal with fear. Because he's doing something, cheat on fear. Then you need to cheat on your fear. That's why you see, a leader is confident. Is confident. You can come with high skilled, middle skilled, low skilled. Is still confident because he knows that his position helps you to be who you are, and he is who he is. He's not afraid of anything. He's not afraid of any gift because he knows that God has put me in this position to be able to release gift. Sometimes we do come into position like pastors, leaders, this and that, but we are, instead of being the driver of our life, we being the passenger in our own life. And sometimes it's hunger that is driving you, and you are sitting as a passenger. Now the anger is driving you. Sometimes fear is driving you. You are sitting in the car. If your life is a car, instead of you being the driver of your life, you are the passenger of your life, and now fear is driving you. That's why you see your leadership start now to disappear, because you are more into a situation that you are driven by fear, and it is now fear that does the work. The more fear does the work, the more you start to see things differently, and your leadership starts to disappear. A leader must be a living example of his teachings. When we see that a leader's personal life embodies his philosophy, we are inspired to learn that philosophy. Conversely, if we see that a leader does not live but by his own words, we cannot trust him. It is useless for a leader to be a visionary in the abstract. He must be successful communicator whose vision can be translated into specific applicable principles, not knowledge for the sake of knowledge, but knowledge that can actually help improve the world. So a leader must be many things: selfless, devoted, visionary, courageous, and above all, humble. You know, that's a big part of the message of a leader. Because I am carrying a divine assignment that God has told me to do. When I'm carrying that divine assignment, then I need to specify what exactly, as a teaching, I need to put in the framework of the desire that I have. When I have a teaching, I need to live by that teaching. This is one of the things today. You know, I used to do that before. You talk to people who say that you need to be healthy. You need to be healthy. You need to take tea without sugar. It's good. Sugar is no good. But when I come back in my own cup, I put 2 sugars, big ones. But one day I stood up in the kitchen and said, why am I telling people not to take sugars? I was telling people, I said, no, God cannot protect you with the amount of sugar you put in your tea. If you put 10,000 cup sugars, you beat diabetes. God will not protect you. But if I go back, I will take 2 big sugars, 2 big spoons. I put it in my cup. And one day I stood up and said, come on, I'm telling people something that I'm living by the same thing. I cannot control myself, but I tell people, I said, control yourself. One day I stood up and said, finish. But you want how that finished? I went somewhere. You know, there's some meeting when you go, you need to stick to your words. Even though you say something wrong, but you need to abide by it. I came to a meeting. You know, some people, when you talk to them, you feel like you, and they say that, tea, please. I said, Johnny, what do you want? I said, tea. They don't want to say, no sugar. They don't want no sugar. They don't want no sugar. They came to me, no sugar. Because I could not say sugar in the midst of people that say no sugar. Because I said to myself, I said, if they say no sugar, then they want to say that we are healthy, and then we take care of our lives. Now, for me to take care of my life, I said, what should I do? I said, no sugar. But the challenge was that they experienced it before, but it was my first time. Now, when they booked the tea, everyone was like, you see, when someone is used, bah. And the guy looked at me and said, Johnny, are you okay? I said, no, I'm okay. Don't worry, I'm okay. It was my first experience. I was trying to test first. He said, it looks like you're testing the tea. You don't like the tea? Because some people, when they look at you, they can tell you so the way that you are not comfortable. I felt not comfortable, but I was trying to say, what can I do? And I started to put a face like I'm confident. So drink it. And then what happened? I had to talk less. Because the more I was between 2 experiences, trying to cope with the tea without sugar and then give an idea. All of the ideas could not come no more. I was just taking the tea slowly. When I finished it, I said to myself, oh God. I said, but from today, it is over. And since that day, it is over. And I don't finish. I'm not taking. And one day I stood up, I was going to North Finchley. I said, no. I'm telling people that they are overweighted. I'm overweight. I'm overweighted. So I said, no. I need to go to gym. I went to the gym and got there. I said, no, I'm coming to register. They said, oh, register. They said, can you weigh yourself? They look at my weight and say, what? 182 kilos, man? It's dangerous. You need to train. I said, yes, I know. I said, but anyway, you must know something that 80% of what you do here is your food at home. I was like, no, that's not the problem. That's not the problem. But when I said that's not the problem, I went home, said the way that I said it to myself. Everything I was trying to touch, a message came and said, this is a problem. And I said, no, it's not. I said, no, I stop this. And I was up running up on the treadmill. A guy came to me. I told him, he said, Johnny, you're not a dog. I said, me? I said, I'm not a dog? He said, yes, Johnny, I'm telling you, you are not a dog. I said, yes, but I'm not a dog. He said, I'm telling you, you are not a dog. I said, yes, but I'm not a dog. I said, you know why I'm saying this? I want you to understand that you're not a dog. When you go home, choose what to eat. A dog will go in the bin, pick everything that is in there. but choose what to eat. You live every life, and then you just walk. I look at the guy and I said, this is becoming serious now. And when I start to choose what to eat, and slowly, I was choosing what to eat, I start to realize that my life was changing. I could see my weight going down. I could see difference being made. And I started to say to myself, I said, oh, it's a small habit that you do. You know, sometimes we turn to tell people that, listen, you need to lead your life. You need to be a leader. But sometimes we call ourselves leaders while in the meantime we cannot lead our own life. We cannot lead our own life, but we are trying to lead people. We are trying to drive change in people, but we cannot drive that change in ourselves. And since that day, I found a release in my life. I just realized that there are things I could not do. I started to see difference. Whenever I go, people tell me, oh, we see that you are losing weight. I said, sense of encouragement. I said that I need to continue. Because today you can say, for example, you can set up a good plan for life, an action plan of 10 years of your life. You can put up everything that you want to do. But if you don't have the health, you will not do it. Those have health come first. If you are not leading your health, you cannot lead other things in your life. Now, sometimes we see ourselves leaders because we see what we can do in people. But we don't see what we can do in ourselves first. Are we leading our own thoughts? Are we leading our own mind? Are we leading our own behavior? Are we leading our own principles? Am I have boundaries in my life that I can stick by? You know, so there are certain things that we don't realize. We don't have them, but we call ourselves leaders. But sometimes we find it difficult to lead our own. He said, when people sincerely believe in a leader, they rise above their pretty self-concern. They become eager to accept his direction and input, and are inspired to accomplish far more than they could have on their own. By recognizing the characteristic of a leader, we set a standard for our leaders and, more important, for ourselves. By recognizing the characteristics of a leader, we set a standard for our leaders and, more important, for ourselves. You know, sometimes in life, we live a life without standard. Because there's not a setting of standard in our life. Sometimes it is very important that we realize that we need to set standard in life. Until there are things that you know, but there are things that even you know them, you need to hear it from someone else. When you hear from someone else, they start to pick you. I know about time management. I know about wasting time. But when I came to Richard last Saturday in the conference, he started to talk about how people are wasting their time. And I came out and since that day I said, no. I have to take it serious. Because he brought issues like people are spending 1 hour on the phone, talking not about things that are important, but it's food. Are we going to go to Congo? Yes. You know the food there, the pondu. Yes. Oh, I'm telling you, I miss it. And then they will spend 2 hours over the phone, and they wake up for an important appointment tomorrow very tired. Why? Because we've seen in churches those traditional Christians that will come and then start to cast out demons of tiredness and things. He said, get out! Get out! But the funny thing about it is that it doesn't even go. You see the things standing there. The more you cast them out, is the more you sleep. And then you'll be there when they talk, you wake up in the name of Jesus. Jesus will say that I'm here. But you feel the same problem standing. Now you see why? Because it's a lack of discipline. Sometimes we live our life without discipline. It's things that I was saying before. I was seeing people talking about the same thing, the same issues, time wasting. I said no. But today I start to value time. Listen, we just shouted Happy New Year just about a few weeks ago. But this Mondays, even today, we are in March. We have burned 2 full months of January and February. And now we are in March, heading to April. And we're going to be in May and going to June. And summer is even just 2 miles away, around the corner. We're going to be in summer. And then when we finish the summer, we're back again in winter. And now you see people now, Christian, what they do is that they come up with figures. They say this year is 13. The guy that did 2 plus 0 plus 1, he said, what is it? The 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 3, 6 is the figure of creation. But now we are in March. There's nothing that he has created. And maybe by the time we get at May, there will be nothing created. And by the time we reach July, we're still trying to create. And then when we reach this December, we start of sun. Principles, discipline, everything is planned. But sometimes we are more concerned about the God. When they said I'm praying the God of sun, that's what is going to attract my attention instead of the discipline that he has in his own life. Today, people, if you tell your Christian to go and do yoga, they will say, yoga? This is impossible. I cannot do that. It's witchcraft. But those that do the yoga, they're disciplined. You go. One day I went for a conference about NLP and hypnotherapists. We were sitting in a conference and they said, now start to breathe. Close your eyes. Read the conference. I was there, I said, my God, what is this? He said, now what do you feel? I'm feeling relaxed. Good again. You feel it. Sometimes you say, this guy, what is doing? But the guy will tell you how he's feeling. Until one day when I put myself into the sun, I look at, I was in the steam, no one. I went to make sure the door is locked. I was there. And the way I felt, I was quite relaxed. I said to myself, this guy, they're lying to us. They're doing things that don't tell us. And we are dying, the church dying. And sometimes under stress, we don't have things to do. And then when I get down, there's no one around. I don't want to die like this. You see, sometimes there's things that we don't see the impact of what we're doing, but sometimes we only see out of practice context. We look from an outsider and see that, no, this is not good. But a leader is someone that wants to set standard in his own life. And when he sets standard in his own life, this will push him to the way that he can change himself first. Before I move to the next one, I wrote a quote on a book. A guy said that when he was younger, he thought that he's going to change the world. He had a great passion, said, I'm going to change the world. Now, when he just ran the 15 years of life, he told himself, no, it's impossible. You know what he did? He said, no, I think I cannot change my life. What I can do, I can change my country. And he tried on the country, the people that he saw in his country, he said, no. I think I made a mistake. Let me change my family. He stood on his family and found himself on a bed in the hospital. And he was dying. And he started praying, he started writing some word that they would put on his in the grave. Those words he put on his grave, he said that if I knew I could have started by changing myself, then I could have impact in my country, my family, and then who knows, the impact could go in the world. But instead of me changing myself, I spent a lot of time trying to change people on the things that I was doing myself. And then now I'm gone. And they left the message on his grave. And that message now they're reading to everyone, but the guy is gone. And sometimes, some people see more the change. There's a quote that says that, be the change that you want to see in people. So sometimes we judge people. We say that they have to be this, they have to do this, they have to behave this way, they have to do this. But sometimes we don't look at ourselves and ask ourselves, I say, why are we like this? Sometimes we say that we Africans, we Ghanaians, we Nigerians, we Congolese. But sometimes we don't look at ourselves if the Congolese behavior is working on us as well. But sometimes out of 100%, maybe 80%, we are doing the same behavior that we telling people that they shouldn't do.
That's right.
Sometimes the things that we say to people don't do, we do it and then we tell them, these are the Congolese. I know them. They always like this. Me, when I see them, I recognize them straight away. But you don't recognize yourself.
It takes one to know.
Sometimes, That's why I said to people, I said, the same standard you're using to measure someone, or the same measurement, just try to measure yourself and see yourself if you know fitting in the same fitting that you're fitting them. And there's an old saying that says that in today's world, it is not about what you know, but who you know that counts. Now let's modify it to fit the context of leadership. Today's world, it is not what you know that makes you a leader. It is who you are that counts. That's why you see, I was saying that before I put this quote, to say that it is who you are that counts. It is not what you know. Because today everyone knows, and people, why are we talking leader and dealer? Because we see now, we're talking about the leader, but we see the dealer side as well. Why? Because so many people today, they want to grab some knowledge to go and work on people and then to make a living. Because they see the deal with what they have. They don't see the life change that they will make in people. They don't see the life change in themselves. But what they see is like the deal that will make out of people that they will come across. Sometimes, we come across people that we say like, okay then, because if I give them this, I'll get this. I've seen some people, they say that, okay then, I think life coaching is good. I'll go as well. I look at them and say that, are you ready to go for it? They say, yeah, why not? It's just reading some books and then you're going to give speech. I say, no. It's about changing yourself first. Because you're exposing yourself. Because, for example, I can be standing here saying that, okay, leaders need to live by what they say. If one day I come across that, I fail on one of the things that I'm saying, then I will have to be accountable of it. Even though in Africa accountability doesn't work no more, because people accountability in Africa is sold. Because people are leaders because they stand on people and say that if I do this, you accept it, or you go out. We've seen how many people that we lost in our country that are standing for human rights and they've gone like this because someone in power said that I don't stand that guy, just kill him for me. And they kill him once and then he's gone. And now, the next part here, I put some definitions. Why I put this, some of the definitions, is just to be able to see from the perspective of leader, because it happens most of the time that there are some of the words that we mixed up. And sometimes when we mix them up, because we think that we're talking about a leader, maybe we're talking about an innovator, maybe we're talking about a broker, maybe we're talking about a businessman. But sometimes we call everything leader today. Everything goes with leader. Even though someone is a broker, they will call him a leader. If someone is a dealer, they will call him a leader. Because today context is like the amount of people that you know is in the celebrity. I think all of the news that go around you is what that makes a person today than what is inside him. The inner world doesn't count no more. Because people don't show value, even though setting of value doesn't work no more in today's society. People don't set up values. What people do today is like, people want to show people that I'm in power. I can have money. I can drive this. I can do this. But deep within them, there's not the desire to accomplish something. They even though they are in a generation, but there's nothing that they are bringing that will change this generation. Sometimes people will come and say that I'm a leader. Some people will come and say this and that. But sometimes you need to come and weigh the ideas to see whether they're gonna work or not they're gonna work. Because when I put here, I put a dealer, because I put some wording, because I was when I was preparing for this, preparing this material, I said that sometimes when we think of someone as a leader, we say that someone is a leader, but sometimes there's different words that come and explain what we're saying instead of we saying that really we think about a leader. And some of the word I put is a dealer is part of them. Brooke is part of them. Entrepreneur. Businessman. Innovator. Creator. Because sometimes today everyone is being taken like a leader. Everyone, even though he's a dealer, he's a broker, he's an entrepreneur, he's a business. Because when you go deep to these words, you will see something that sometimes I put here: a leader is an initiator, is willing to step up and take on the task of driving a project, is intuitive, and once they have a general direction for a project, they don't have to be told what they do every step of the way. A leader pushes for actions and is not content with simply sitting still. A leader drives to the finish line. Leaders don't let fear or a strong sense of anxiety paralyze them. They attack fear head on and are willing to lean heavily into the rough waters and push through. A leader is innovators. They try new things. They are willing to fail, but fail in trying. But a dealer is a person who, for the purpose of or in connection with or incidental to or in the course of his business, buys, sell goods directly or otherwise, whether for cash or for deferred payment or for commission, for remuneration or for valuable consideration. And sometimes some people they out of the dealership they can make a lot of money. Today dealer. I'll close with a quote that will explain the link between leader and dealer. But one of the things I realized is that today, if you mention, I tried it even on Facebook. When I put the title, people reacted sort of way. How dealer? How dealer? Because it's a word that is always black. When you say dealer, people see straight away. They see drugs. They see all those kind of illegal stuff. Illegal trading when they come across dealership. But everyone is a dealer. But dealing with things in a sense of leadership is different than being a dealer out of no leadership. Now, a dealer is someone that who for the purpose of anything that he does in his own business, he buys, sell goods directly for cash or for payment, for commission. He cannot do anything for free. A dealer will not take any deal for free. Because when he takes a deal means that I'm getting something. And a dealer will always stand where there's a profit. A dealer will go where he hears that, okay, they say that in Congo today, I remember I came across a Nigerian guy, he told me that, what, in Congo, they say that it's open for business. I said, what do you mean by open? Because when you say that Congo is open for business, it's not that it's good to do business there. It's like there's no regulations. That's what we mean by it's open. It's like a Wi-Fi without a security code. Now everyone can go and do anything without regulations. That's why we see people. I think Congo, Congo these days is working. Things are good there. The market is open. Open because you can do things unregulated.
Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire, il faut avoir quoi? Dans ce monde, il faut croire, il faut avoir ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi. Pour être sauvé dans ce monde, il faut croire. Pour croire, il faut avoir quoi? La foi.